So what do we think will be in the two spawn chests?
I don't know. We're gonna see them before I can get it out. We got a small key to Aga Tower.
Oh boy.
And the map to Skullwoods.
Huh. And quite the spread of custom sprites here as we start this one off. Pokedude, having started at the house, is going to head up to the castle.
And it looks like all three of our other runners are going to be setting up Houlihan.
Yeah, it looks like it. Meanwhile, Pokedude having a bit of a time wanting to set up a tree pool, but with all three guards aggroing in, gonna opt out of that because probably means a second trip up to the castle at that rate.
Yeah, you're better off just counting your losses. Ooh, Moon Pearl. Moon Pearl
All
and
right.
Uncle.
So a bit of a mixed message here from the seed early on. We got the castle tower key, but we've got the Moon Pearl. And so, along with some big money.
Yeah, if you combine that $300 with a Houlihan, you're gonna immediately have Zora money.
Yep. It's a great way to start off the seed, and the reason a lot of our players opt for that Houlihan is just in case you do come into the rupees you're used to. Hitaka coming up blank on some bomb farming where Numberplay and Arboretic are about to join. Meanwhile, Pokedude gonna continue on their own path in a more traditional open from the north.
Right. We're going to see a bit of sync here, though. Hitaka's just going to gamble the race game, which is just going to be $20.
Well, thankfully with the Houlihan, we'll have plenty of money to be able to just go replenish bombs. While the Hoarder is giving out hearts today.
I didn't see what was on the library ledge.
I happened to miss it myself. Just a vanilla heart piece and lumberjack.
We got a compass in the tavern. One of our trackers, Liam Atlas, is saying it was just money in the library.
And confirmed on Hitaka's just now. Alright, we see Numberplay is going to take this one bomb and use it wisely on the shed here. And have the opportunity to grab 4 more with every trip in and out here. Where Hitaka, having been out of bombs, is going to be forced to spend the money.
Yep, Arboretic paid for the bombs as well. We're going to see what's in Chicken Hut here. Hammer!
Oh, nice. And Pokedude picking up the sword in the forest.
So this seed so far is being pretty schizophrenic as to whether your Dark World access is through Aga Tower or through the normal means.
Yeah, well, right now between that Pearl being available and the Hammer, we're just a glove away. Where it would take, I guess, another Castle Tower key and either a cape or a sword upgrade. So right now we're looking at more likely the traditional.
Yeah, that would make sense. Got the Cane of Brian, $20.
And there's our glove. Oh boy. 3 minutes and 50
glove.
seconds in, we know where all the stuff is anyway. Yes, that's gonna get back of escape if our players are feeling bold about pushing up the mountain, and of course, as we say, once they collect the Moon Pearl from Uncle, the trip into the Dark World from just about anywhere they want.
Absolutely. Only finding the small key to desert in Blind Side so far.
Yeah, that's one you want to get out of the way early, because it's just a bummer to be tracking down. Then a Ganon's Tower small key. That'll just smooth out a bit of the end of the race, potentially.
Yeah, you need at least one to go when you're running the gauntlet. So getting at least one now guarantees that you won't have to find it early, and you can just log that away.
Right. I should say I'm enjoying the effect that the custom sprites are having on the palette of this old woman in front of the chicken house. She's had varying complexions.
Yeah, I think it matches the hair color of whatever the sprite is.
Something like that. Yeah, so now we see our runners kind of crossing paths from what they were at before.
Speaking of all those sprites, we got Numberplay with Moogle, Pokedude with Zero Suit Samus, Hitaka is using Decidui, and I'm trying to remember what arboretic is.
That would be the maiden from Thieves Town, or a maiden that you rescue in the crystal as well.
That's what I thought it was, but I didn't know for certain.
Yeah, I think the idea is that it's the one from Thieves Town, though, because when you see the bunny sprite, it's a smaller version of Blind.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty fun with the limited animation frames there and the sort of spaghetti fingers.
Alright, so with that power glove, Arboretic is going to go check back of escape first.
Yeah, definitely a good move. You got 3 chests that are very easy to check here. And then you might expect that with the permanent weapons in hand that they'll be going to the other parts of the castle very shortly as well. And a pod key early.
One of the 6.
Right.
And just some love otherwise.
Yeah, not a bad haul overall.
Hitaka and it looks like Numberplay also are sequence breaking up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, neither of these guys are afraid of the dark. And we'll see what the old man has for them. And yeah, at Arctis site, we have the knowledge of Dark World access just under 4 minutes. I think the first actual get was around 5 for Dark World access, so pretty wide open seat at this point.
We had Hammer and Chicken Hut, as you're seeing here, Moon Pearl with Uncle, and Power Glove was in the well.
Right. Both of our guys making up the mountain.
Pokedude's going right into the Dark World. Looks like he's heading for Thieves Town first.
Yeah, we saw red pendant on Skull Woods in the map check there. Looks like Quake inside of Spectacle Rock. Do not know yet if that will be needed, as we are just mere moments into the seed, basically.
Yeah, it'll be a while before we get to Mire or Turtle Rock, but at least Numberplay is going to pick it up, and looks like Hitaka is going to do the same.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to leave that there. And the small key to Swamp Palace, all right.
There's
another one that can be hard to find.
Absolutely. Sorry, I was about to say the same thing.
Oh, it's all right.
Oh, and
oh no, Pokedude.
He opened Thieves Town and got barreled right into the coast.
Oh, jeez.
We also have silver arrows in the front half of Escape.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice find. You want the bow so you can use them, but at least you know that by the end of this thing, you're gonna be able to take down Ganon the good old-fashioned way.
So, Pokedude, well, I was about to say he thought about it. He thought about going to the Dark World, but instead it looks like he's just going to go to the dam where Hitaka is right now.
Yeah, it was kind of a bold play to be going in the Skullwoods with so much of the sort of Sphere Zero stuff open, but, I mean, at that point, you gotta play with the items you have, too, so...
Certainly is the play. I mean, I normally when I play this, I always do Kakariko and always do South area with Swamp and Mini Trolldorm before I even start thinking about diverging from that path.
Yeah, it seems reasonable enough. Mostly, I would think out of muscle memory, and then if you left it off, would you remember to go back?
Exactly.
All right, just a heart container in the last chest of escape.
Arboretic isn't going to attempt to do the dark room.
Now, when there's so much else around in sequence, you can understand. And Hitaka's gonna have to be careful with this one last. Moldorm does run up for the extra heart. Gonna go bomb strats. They'll be the first to show us. The other castle tower key. And ether.
Yeah. I was
working on our coin collection.
So I was gonna say a minute ago, Pokedude had a nice double bomb on the mini Trolldorms on the left side.
Oh yeah, and with the RNG of their movement, it's definitely not guaranteed. So clever positioning.
So it's interesting that the seed is giving us both Aga Tower keys, even though we have Dark World access and nothing is on the nothing of importance is on the Aga ledge. So I imagine if we get a Master Sword or a Cape here soon, I feel like the seed's telling them to head to Aga Tower.
Yeah, we may see something in those two chests there. Having the keys available early is at least gonna get these runners thinking about it. As we get the map of Hyrule Castle, unfortunately no information there.
That and the GT map are pretty much useless here in Keysanity.
Now, Hitaka is going to walk it back, and I can't say I know, unless they do have the Moon Pearl after all. Maybe they're just going to go up for a Hobo.
Now that's interesting how he set it up, where he used the bomb to bonk himself into the like last pixel, so he knew he was going to be there.
Yeah, that's exactly it. With the bomb, you cannot force yourself into a screen transition, but you sure can get to the edge of the screen. So I was going to use the fake flippers maneuver here, wanting to avoid damage for risk of an instant kill with the mushroom on the Lake Hylia Island and a big key from Hobo for Misery Mire.
Alright.
Need it for the boss and the big chest at least, but don't know if we'll even need to head there yet.
Alright, time for some hype and Hype Cave.
Here's hoping.
There's the mirror. Okay, a mirror and a map to Hera. I will take that.
Yeah, it's the Go to Hera pack, isn't it? But they still need that big key. But yeah, this mirror the location to get the mirror is pretty good because you can go right over to the Grove Cave as well. But Arboretic is first going to grab a hold of some information. Tower of Hera and Swamp Palace are 5 and 6 crystals.
So that map was pretty much null and void because the bomb vendor just told you that it's a 5/6 crystal.
Yeah, just a little bit of early information on that will save you a map check, I guess. Meanwhile, our two runners on the left side heading up to Zora with the fake flipper, but without the Moon Pearl, and so they're not going to be able to get into the Waterfall wishing to sequence break those chests. Going to take a little bit of value away from this play.
Yeah, you can't do the Water Walk glitch without the Moon Pearl, and since neither of them have it, they just forgo it. Powder on Pyramid Ledge.
Yeah, that's very interesting and something we can turn in right now. Going to provide some safety and maybe something from the bat. As Zora gives you a bomb upgrade.
Pokedude's making his second attempt into the Dark World, and interesting routing from Arboretic to head into Hyrule Castle.
Thinking about those keys and then thinking, oh wait, I can't actually get into that door yet.
Nope.
So I suppose we'll opt out of that after all.
I imagine Hitaka and Numberplay are not going to be happy as they both head into Uncle's Tunnel and immediately find the Moon Pearl.
Right. Yeah, bringing to fruition that bit of regret about the Waterfall Wishing now. Alright, with the first two of Thieves Town open, it doesn't look like it was anything all too important.
There was a GT small key, and then there was something else that... This is usually the point where I say, I don't remember it, and usually if I remember it, it was important.
Yeah, so silver is picked up for Hitaka. Just arrows out of the third available chest in Thieves Town. And rupees from the fourth. Meanwhile, we're about to see what Catfish has to offer as Arboretic makes perhaps uncharacteristically early check.
Well, and he also has the mirror, so he could go turn in the Zora money right after this.
True story, and might see that play after all.
But just a little bit of love from the Catfish, and yeah, he's going to do that Zora check. So far in Thieves Town, not really having anything much for us via Pokedude's screen.
Yeah, the village not paying out. In the meantime, we're getting nearly synced up dives into the dungeons of Hyrule Castle. Yeah, it looks like nobody's sequence breaking those Waterfall Wishing chests yet.
Nope.
While Pokedude takes the one-way drop down towards the digging game.
Oh, and getting that full heart container. Oh, he lost to... Oh, did he have another one?
Yeah, he was able to get another bomb down to get the last heart out. But yeah, now out of bomb, so we'll see what it ends up being. And I just missed for what dungeon was that key that...
Yeah, it kind of glitched out. So I never saw the text box.
Yeah. Numberplay is going to play the dark route for the last item here in the castle, or at least in its lower half.
And meanwhile, Hitaka is 18 minutes in, and we're finally getting a check of Sahasrara's closet.
Yeah, with the early Dark World access, the routing in this seat has been anybody's guess.
And vanilla, green pendant, and Eastern.
Very nice. And our tracker letting us know it was a pod key from the digging game. The big key from Skull Woods crops up here at Sahasrara.
And we had the big key to Hera in the dark escape check.
Oh, wow.
So that means if... Hera's pretty much in the logic except for the big key, so I have to imagine that we're going to get that lamp here soon.
I should think so. That was the Skull Woods key in Skull Woods, but not in the required to be spot. This Pokedude picks up their mirror.
We got a... I think that was an ice rod.
Yeah, hard to tell.
Tracker's saying it was fire rod.
That seems fair enough.
So French vanilla fire rod, and Arboretic is deciding not to use it to go take on Mothula. Instead, he's electing to head up to Bumper Cave.
Yeah, get a quick look at this, huh? It's
Just a map.
Kind of missing on the throw. Yeah, interesting. We'll see if he heads back to the woods then. Meanwhile, our top runner's just going through some of the paces that our bottom runners have already been.
We're gonna get to check on Grove Ledge. Just 10 arrows.
And Arbor's gonna go over for Graveyard Ledge. Another spot one likes to not forget.
Alright. That fire rod may end up being our only progression at this point.
Yeah, we know that Skull Woods is a pendant, but we know we can beat it.
Oh, I forgot about the fact that we knew it was a pendant. We got a big key to Turtle Rock and Graveyard Ledge.
Seems fair. And the book out of Skull Woods.
Oh.
That's gonna give us desert access, and we do have the desert small key.
Yes. I'm trying to remember if that was an in-logic big key or an out-of-logic one. Wasn't that at Hobo?
You know, I think you're right. So technically out of logic at this point, but not necessarily a bad check to make. Hitaka using the Ether Medallion to their advantage to be able to just kind of have a bit less of a hassle in this room.
Yeah, those Gibdos are always annoying.
Yeah, and with green mail and only one row of hearts, it's kind of a bloodbath.
Certainly not fun at all.
And Numberplay heading up the mountain. Hitaka's gonna be greatly inconvenienced by this Wallmaster, huh?
I mean, a whole total of like 2 seconds of inconvenience.
Yeah, I think it's basically the time lost there is screen transitions.
But he is gonna elect to go to the back of Skull Woods.
Yeah, and hey, with the book, unfortunately not having the mirror to be able to make the one last check that they could make up here.
Oh yeah, our favorite pedestal check.
Yep. I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting this Mothula killed, as Batman just has bomb upgrade down there for arboretic. Yeah, Numberplay into Hera.
Yeah, having that Hera big key from sequence breaking, he is gonna go ahead and... Oh, Master Sword!
Yeah, very nice. And this one was, well, actually, not everything on the mountain is a sequence break right now.
Yeah, because they don't have the lamp at all.
Right, neither lamp nor flute. But tell you what, I'll take a broken Master Sword.
You won't get any complaints from me.
Yeah. Let's see. So we got to our dead end in Thieves Town. We're heading towards the back of Skull now.
Yeah, we pretty much just have what's on Mothula left.
getting all the sequence broken Tower of Hera.
Fisher Price, my first shield in that chest.
And then I guess nobody's gone through Eastern yet. I'd expect there to be something there at this point.
I mean, at this point... Wait, was that Titan's Mitts?
On whose? For Numberplay, I think it was just a 10 bomb.
Yeah, it was just a bomb upgrade. Alright, Hitaka is heading into Mafula's House of Kebab, where we skewer you as opposed to the meat. And Numberplay, at the same time, is going to head up to Trolldorm and Buster's, where we have more fun throwing you off the ledge than we do actually giving you quality service.
Right. Hitaka's going to switch to Hammer here. Finish off this
Nicely
moth
done.
fight. Yeah, solid fight.
For just a green rupee and a red pendant.
Merry Christmas, huh? And that last spin spells Moldorm's Doom. We know that one is a crystal, and the Cane of Samaria, which this
Alright.
entire play to the mountain has been a sequence break, so that's gonna be an interesting find.
Yes.
We know that for the crystal, the other guys are gonna have to get up there eventually, so...
Yeah, and my mistake earlier on the bomb upgrade, I was looking at Hitaka and I glanced up and I saw something yellow and I was like, oh, is that Titan's Mitts? I was like, yeah. But...
Yeah, that would have been quite the turn of events, though.
I mean, that cane certainly is something, because with knowing that Eastern and Skullwoods are pendants, that means only Turtle Rock or Mire can be it. It can't be both of them, so we are going to need that cane at some point.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. And with any luck, it'll be Ice Palace Pendant. We can avoid that whole debacle.
Well, if there's anything we've learned in Keysanity, is that just because something is a pendant dungeon does not necessarily mean you can completely avoid it.
This is true. Yeah, Pokedude's gonna make his way through the castle now.
Hitaka, meanwhile, is gonna head into Thieves Town and Village of Outcasts, and we're gonna get some looks here at Paradox Cave.
Yeah, 7 items here, and then you got Spiral Cave on top of it. Turtle Rock Key.
Yeah, he already did Spiral Cave. It was just,
oh, did he?
Yeah, it was just, I think it was just money.
Ah, my mistake.
No worries. That's how we got down here.
Right. Having come from Hera, of course. Oh.
Alright.
Bottle, blue. Another Turtle Rock Key. Alright, well... You know what that means. Time to go to Sick Kid.
Yes. Definitely gonna get a Sick Kid check. It also means that once we get Titan's Mitts, we've got a lot of the stuff that can get you into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I'm really curious where this when the rest of the maps are gonna roll in, or that information. Find out if we need to get to that ice rod.
At this point, I got to imagine something is in Eastern. We've been waiting a while for the runners to actually go there, and not having the lamp or flippers that kind of...
Yeah, I think everybody's out of logic at this point.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Huh.
I have to imagine one of those two, or even both of them, are at Eastern.
It's certainly possible. Maybe the lamp in an early spot in Eastern, and then the flippers in that last chest that you can get to once you have the lamp. But indeed, we have another player's joined the mountain climbing club in Arboretic.
Numberplay is going to make the play into Skullwoods.
And I'm very curious to see when Hitaka's going to do anything with this book. The mirror, as I remember, is actually in the logic, and so the Bombos tablet is open.
Yeah, the mirror was in Hype Cave.
Right. On our tracker pointing out that Arboretic left Quake sitting in Spectacle Rock for now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see that. I mean, let's definitely give a shout out to our trackers, Liam Atlas and Melee Wizard, as well as our restreamer, Synac. They're putting in all the work to make this production possible.
And we do appreciate that. Yeah, not often that you see Malthula dead before anyone has gone into Eastern.
That is certainly a rarity. Fire Rod also tends to be one of those trollier items that prevents you from going back there for much of the race.
So Pokedude working their way around for their Dark World portal again, while Numberplay works towards the back half of Skull. Hitaka is going to grab that mirror now. Arboretic just checking out Paradox Cave.
Yeah, he'll be getting those Turtle Rock small keys, the blue mail, and that bottle of Code Red.
Yeah, there's only a handful of things you can find in your bottle. I'd say the Red Goo is definitely, Red Potion's definitely one of your better options. And Hitaka thinking, oh, I got this mirror right here. I am going straight to Grove Cave. So there they go.
Certainly gets a check out of the way, but with nothing in there.
Yeah, in the end, I don't know that there's any more convenient time to have done it, but gonna take advantage of the hearts under the pots here and get themselves nice and healed up.
I mean, you bring up a good point. This and Bombos are pretty much, Bombos tablet are the two things left to check in this area. So if you leave it now, it's going to be pretty inconvenient to come back and get it.
Yeah, it basically I think waits until the Swamp Palace play. But
or when
you don't know when you're getting your flippers.
Yeah, sorry, that or when you turn in the lunchbox.
That's true as well. And Numberplay taking down Malthula. While Hitaka is opting to head into the Palace of Darkness, it would seem.
Certainly looks like it. Arboretic is on the Light World side, and I imagine this is a play on Eastern.
Yeah, we're going to get to see this at about 35 minutes in.
It's so strange to be 35 minutes into this race, and finally we're getting a check of Eastern Palace.
Yeah. And arboretic's only just gonna barely beat Hitaka to the respective doors. We would have seen a pod dip before an eastern dip. I think the world might have ended.
But Hitaka is going to mirror out and do the eastern check first.
Pretty smart if you ask me. Just because if you end up finding your bow here, there's a lot more you can do in Eastern or in Pod with that bow than you could if it ended up, looking for items you needed for Eastern.
Exactly, because you can then bypass the front door and save yourself a key. Trying to go through Pod.
Yeah, race earlier today, with one key, we saw a runner get 11 items out of Pod, so...
Yeah.
It's quite the runaround to do it, though. So you want to conserve those keys.
I mean, the truth of the matter is that we're running out of locations where progression can be, so I have to imagine something is either here in Eastern or it's in Pod.
Yeah, that's almost certainly true at this point. So far, not coming up with too much.
Well, that would mean Eastern's a bust, because the last chest is in the dark room, which wouldn't be in the logic.
Right.
There may still be something of value, but it's not what the actual progression they're going to be needing right now.
Yeah. Courageous and maybe frustrated arboretic braves the dark. We'll see what they find in this chest. Pokedude working over Skull Woods. Oh, and gets knocked back off the hard hat beetle into the Wallmaster. Set back a room or two there.
Ouch.
Yeah, more just a frustration at that. Oh,
and he gets it again.
Yeesh. Just a big 20 in that sequence broken chest in Eastern, so... Huh.
So, it's pretty much down to Pod.
I think so. I can't think of where else it would be. I mean, technically, Spike Cave's in the logic now? Yeah.
No, it's not. You still don't have the lamp or the flute to get up there.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, nothing on the mountain is in the logic. Thank you.
Apparently, Liam said Sick Kid had the GT Big Key.
Oh, I think he's calling it. I don't think anybody's checked it yet.
No, Numberplay just did.
Oh. Oh! Wow.
We totally missed that.
Yeah, totally did. Our bad.
That's the hard thing with having 4 runners to watch, is you inevitably miss something.
Just rupees here out of the first chest in Pod, though.
And not having the bow means you are going to have to burn a key on the front door. So you are going to need 5 to at least full clear Pod, as long as you know the hammering up.
There are the flippers. All right. That is a good find, because that puts Hobo back in, which puts the Skull Woods big key in, which puts the book in.
Yes. We still
which I guess that is the other unticked box for Hitaka, is a trip to desert.
Yes. Now, so yeah, that does put desert in the logic. All of the stuff that's on Death Mountain still is sequence broken, because we still need either the lamp or the flute.
Yeah, with the flippers now, though, maybe we'll finally get a trip to the Waterfall Wishing.
It could be there.
Speaking of which, we got Arboretic going for the fake flippers. Decides to double back and maybe getting to it before Hitaka at this point, just in the sequence broken manner.
Certainly looks like that's the play. There's nothing in the dark room in pod. And there's the flute.
The flute. So now the mountain is in play. Alright, interesting. So we're kind of closing off the loops now. Still wondering about that lamp. It hasn't been explicitly needed now that we have the flute, but it's always needed for getting all the crystals.
However, the Hera big key is still out of the logic, but that Master Sword was in the basement, so that one still is in logic.
Right, having come out of the back of Escape, the Hera big key.
We have the big key to Swamp in the Dark Maze, so that's still sequence broken.
Interesting.
Arboretic gonna activate that flute.
Yep. And actually with those flippers too, that's a nice little combo to pick up with the Swamp Palace big key. You want to have your hook shot also, but you might take what you can get with this one. Numberplay gonna pass up the powder for now, put him to the top.
He's, with having that Master Sword, he is gonna do an Aga Tower check.
I'd say it's pretty solid. Gonna be able to go in, check these two chests, and then go on ahead back down the pyramid once you exit and take your mirror warp again.
Yeah, and I saw Arboretic turn in Sick Kid. That was GG Big Key. There's the lamp!
Oh, lamp here in Aga Tower. Very nice. Alright. So we're getting places.
And that pretty much puts all the sequence broken stuff we've discussed back in logic.
Yeah. No one player has done all of it yet, but between it, or among all the things we know, we have the entire sequence now. Very interesting.
Hitaka is going to check Spike Cave. Lunaire Saran is asking about needing another sword. So the sword was in the Hera basement. So once you got flippers and flutes, that would have
put that into logic, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good question, good answer. Now Arboretic's gonna pick up this book, and I wonder, since they have the mirror and they are here in Skull Woods, if they'll humor us and take a trip to check the pedestal.
We shall certainly see.
Oh, the Skullwoods big key was in Sahasrara, as Numberplay picks it up.
All right, so that was always in logic then.
Interesting. So desert being left open for a while. Mitts on Ether Tablet.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, hey.
Hitaka's gonna get this Master Sword, and he can go right out and get those Titans mitts.
Yeah, how about it? That's gonna be a great little turn of events for him. Alright, so mitts have been located. That book coming up huge.
So to my earlier point about sometimes pendant dungeons being required, you needed to go independent Skullwoods to get that book.
Indeed.
Now Hitaka not having the Not having the hair a big key, so that he's just gonna nope on out of there, but he is getting that Titan Smiths.
Yeah, and with this kit, able to on the Dark World east side of the mountain, and it looks like they are gonna opt for that. As Numberplay gets their flips.
Mm-hmm. We got a boomerang on Floating Island.
Yeah, that'll likely go unretrieved.
Okay, so with everything in the logic now, you can get into Desert Palace, but you can't finish it off. You can get into Swamp Palace, but until you find the hook shot, you can't finish that off. You could get into Ice Palace.
You could, yeah. The mitts are now available.
Turtle Rock is available depending on what medallion it is.
Yeah, true story.
And actually, Myra is now available. So finding those Titan Smiths pretty much has opened up the entire world.
Yeah, just in AL keys at this point. And a couple of small keys too for Pod and Turtle Rock at least. Numberplay giving us the pause menu song as they try to set up the hammer yump. Be able to take advantage of some efficient collision checking, we'll say, in the game, to be able to walk backwards through a barrier. Wow. Arboretic finding themselves in dire straits here in the Mothula fight, putting that potion to work.
And finishing the fight.
Yeah. Well measured.
Numberplay getting the bomb jump on the second go.
Nice work.
And we're going to get some new information as Hitaka does, in fact, head into Dark Death Mountain.
Very nice.
Oh, here we go. Here, back.
I should think so. Here we go.
Swag, man, on the pedestal.
Oh man. Well, unfortunately, we won't be seeing that one get picked up unless for some reason the seed drags you through the other three, or the other two pendants anyway. Somebody might do it for fun, but there's Tempered Sword and one of those fairies in a bottle. So Super Bunny Cave, better than pedestal confirmed, apparently.
Yep.
As there's a small key on the desert ledge. That'll be something.
Mm-hmm. Arboretic is going to head to the Desert Palace.
And eventually you end up with both means of access to desert here. You know, mitts on Ether is probably going to take some of these, the rest of these folks, a bit of time to go get.
Especially with Lamp being a Naga Tower.
Yeah, that too. Turtle Rock small key in exchange for your desert small key.
And that gives you 3 of them.
Yeah, that's getting close to done.
I mean, you can get to Trinex. You can get to Trinex if you skip the vanilla big key chest.
Right. We just need that ice rod.
Hitaka picking up that mushroom off the island.
Smart play. Meanwhile, our top runner is just pushing through Eastern Palace now. Kind of amazing to see that at 49 certainly by no fault of routing, but just the fact that there were so many options that this actually fell in value.
Pretty much. Alright, let's see what that small key is we have on the desert ledge.
The Tower of Hera.
Alright, well, whenever Arboretic decides to go up to Tower of Hera, he'll be able to get a coffee break while he's there.
Yeah, he'll be able to get into that basement and deal with that tile room and hopefully have that key pay off. For now, he's going to make another sort of endpoint check here with Gina. Hitaka getting their lamp.
Just a 5-arrow upgrade on Agina's Cave. Alright, so we've already seen desert. There wasn't much there. Where do you think the next play is for these runners?
Well, I do want to see that Hera basement, but I want to see it from our top 2 runners in particular, so that maybe... Well, actually, neither of them has the book yet. Never mind. Huh. I was gonna say, because we need to see them get moving up top. But, Yeah, there's a lot open. We don't have all the map info yet. Maybe it's an ice palace dive after all. What do you think?
I'm feeling Turtle Rock. You've got the big key, you've got 3 small keys. All of the other dungeons, the seed has given you nothing to say to indicate that the seed wants you to go there, because the logic wants you to have those keys, even if it's not our runners don't need them because they know how to route stuff without them.
Right.
So with everything coming up Turtle Rock, I feel like that's the play.
And we may see that soon from Arboretic, depending on how thorough they wish to be over here. They did stop off at the Ether Tablet to get those mitts, and so that kind of opens it up. Although I guess they haven't yet retrieved the Tower of Hera big key, and so, as I recall, the Cane of Samaria was up there.
Arboretic gonna forego the coffee break and just dodge around with the tiles.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if, despite the wide openness of the beginning of the seed, if kind of sticking to a traditional open would have ended up being more beneficial. I'm not sure it totally would have been, but one of our trackers letting us know the Thieves Town small key was at the Mushroom Turn-In.
And we also have the D in the coffee break room.
Yeah, that is an item that is well worth the wait. Looks like Hitaka's going to be right behind picking that up. And the Arboretic is almost certainly heading over to at least take a look at Turtle Rock.
That also...
On top of whatever else they need to do over here.
Mm-hmm. And so, Arboretic has not gone into pod yet, I don't think. So that would open up being able to... The logic will give them more to be able to check.
Yeah, with 2 keys, the bow and the hammer, you can really get just about everything if you're good with the tricks. Might be one location besides Helmassar that you leave open.
And Bombos at Turtle Rock.
Oh, so we can't even go in yet. It's the one coin we have not seen.
Well,
Hitaka.
Go ahead.
Oh, Hitaka getting that bomb jump there.
Yeah, very nicely done there. But that's certainly That certainly blows my thoughts out of the water in terms of where they should go next, so all rise for the link to the past national anthem.
And Arboretic taking advantage of a glitch in the game there to hasten their route through Super Bunny Cave. Since you're in a cave, you can't warp back to Light World, and you're not in a dungeon, so you can't warp back to the front door. For some reason, this means the blocks disappear. But now they are on their tempered sword as Hitaka very handily dismisses Moldorm.
Yes. So back to our conversation about where to go next. Well, we didn't really find anything in... No, the one thing we did find in Pod was a swamp big key.
Right.
That may be where I would go next.
Yeah, we got the small key, we've got the big key. There's a fair number of items there. It's a bit of a pain to set up. We know it's crystal, so we'd really like to have the hook shot before we go in and just do the whole thing at once. But, you know, the seed doesn't necessarily care. And may be looking to have the runners go in, get something that leads to hook shot elsewhere. Oh no, an Arboretic taking the death.
He ran out of magic. He had the fairy, but he ran out of magic.
Yeah, ran out of magic with a half a heart left, so he goes for the lift. Luckily, he has the fairy. Of course, only for the Hyrule Castle key, so bittersweet, but we know that he would have wanted to check that again eventually had he not made it there.
Yeah.
Alright, Pokedude going into the Tower of Hero with neither the small nor big key. Meanwhile, it looks like Numberplay is gonna go into Swamp.
He's making that swamp play.
So we'll get some new information here. We'll see if this gives him an edge over his opponent.
Well, and the thing is, he has not been back to Skullwoods yet to get the book, so this is the only play he has.
Right. Meanwhile, Arboretic into the mire area. Just some dungeon items.
We got Red Mail in Swamp Palace. It looks like both Mire and Turtle Rock require Bombos.
Interesting.
We now know that Pod is a crystal from a map check.
And Pendant Turtle Rock. So, the ice rod may never be found, and that would be quite alright.
So yeah, in terms of go mode, we're pretty much waiting on keys, a hook shot, and a Bombos medallion, and that's about it.
Yeah, it seems about right. And if we find the boots, the hookshot could end up in Mire.
With those Titansmiths, we're gonna get some new checks here. Just $50 in Peg Cave. Small key to ice in the Swamp Big Chest.
Interesting. We do have confirmation that that's a crystal now, having located the 3 pendants and working from there. So that key will at least facilitate some routing. What are our smiths making today? Heart containers.
Giving you
heart pieces.
Yeah, just giving you what little bit of love they have.
And Hitaka with a well-placed portal, going to be able to double back, pick up this purple chest, and keep things moving.
And for Numberplay, these last two checks are pretty much all it's gonna be there unless we find the hook shot.
Yeah, it'd be definitely a crazy spot to find it, but not impossible. Right here would be the most convenient, because then you could reach across.
But it's just a little bit of love instead.
Yep. I'll make the way past the various water creatures here and go for that other one. Meanwhile, we've got 2 different routes to return this purple chest for a compass.
Pretty useless today.
Yeah, it does serve the function of an on-screen item counter while you're in the dungeon it applies to, but for these runners, generally not terribly useful, more of a service to the fans at that point. And a Misery Mire small key. Basically a logical formality. You can get all the items in Mire without the keys you find in item locations. Although it can smooth out your route as well.
It certainly can smooth it out if you have the hook shot.
Yeah.
You also need the big key, because you need to be able to warp into the room to get to that bridge and then hook shot over to the chest.
Right. And we're gonna get to check the Bombos tablet here. Arboretic. Is it tablets of worth today? Nope.
Just a little bit of love.
And Hitaka taking that purple chest everywhere.
Yeah, he's gonna turn into mushroom.
Meanwhile, Pokedude's gonna end up picking up their book now. Coming back in with that Skullwood's big key they picked up.
I forgot, that was where the small key to Thieves Town was.
Right. Not quite useful without that big key yet, though, so that'll be,
Yeah, with that small key... Yeah, with that small key, all you can really do is check the big chest in Thieves Town, but to your point, you need the big key just to get there in the first place.
So Garberic's gonna go to Pod. Gonna acquire him some swimwear. And yeah, just kind of back to the retracing of steps here as each of our runners goes a place that we've seen one of them already go.
Hitaka just picked...
Yeah, getting their flute here. Meanwhile, Pokedude's still not making that check. And just really interesting what early Dark World access can do to routing.
Yeah, that's a reason why a lot of times for me, I tend to stick to, you know, a standard route that I always do in the when I first get to the light world, and then a standard route that I always do when I first get to the dark world. Because a lot of times, you know, those checks...
Pokedude. Getting picked up by Wallmaster again.
That's gonna hurt. But, you know, that's why, you know, it's sometimes one of those things that it could take longer, but a lot of those times, like, it just helps in not forgetting something that you could have done early on.
Right, and a lot of those opening routes are usually built more for a sort of flow, and then you're just counting on, okay, at the end of this I'll have acquired some items, and then can start puzzling it out.
Absolutely.
Pokedude going ham with the fire rod, getting the Numberplay sort of knowing that there was progression in this chest before they opened it, dropped a couple bombs for good measure.
All right,
But,
we got the big key to Eastern and Bombo's tablet on the 2 Bowlock chests in Pod.
Ooh, that's an interesting turn of events, given I think it was Arboretic's opponent Hitaka who was the one who had gone to Pod otherwise.
Yeah, I believe it was.
And so that ends up playing into the outcome of that match a little more strongly. Pokedude able to get the angle of Mothula that they'd like to be able to land hits a little better. Gonna opt for that red potion use, but actually not even needing it, able to tough it out.
Gets that kill on Mothula for the red pendant.
Yep, green rupee, red pendant in the Numberplay. Taking the book they just earned.
He's going straight for Ether Tablet. He's gonna get those Titans mitts.
Yeah, it seems like they whittled themselves down to just a little bit of progression even available with those mitts now. Gonna head east as one would expect.
Get those rage slashes for realizing what was right there the whole time.
Pokedude gonna find out Net is here. Meanwhile, we've still got 2 runners without the lamp, 3 runners without the bow.
Yeah, the bow was in the coffee break room in Hera, and the lamp was in the first chest in the Aga Tower.
Right. And Arboretic just continuing through some checks here in the Palace of Darkness.
Choosing to burn the last key on Harmless Hellway for just $5. So that's gonna leave Vanilla Big Key chest locked at this point behind the key.
Right. And
unfortunately, Arboretic did not set up that bomb right.
Yeah, looks like they're up a bit high, huh?
Yep, he's about to get a railing to the face and gonna have to do it again.
Running out of time on that one. And now Numberplay getting that Hera small key, probably feeling a little flustered that they were just up there for the Ether Tablet, but that's Randomizer.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Alright, looks like maybe 3rd time's the charm for Arboretic. Just in time there, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Clutch it out. No need to bang the torch today in Desert. Just 20 rupees there. Well, I guess we've seen that earlier. Now we're having a confluence of, or perhaps a conference rather, of runners here in Desert. While Arbor works his way through the dark maze with the big key of Swamp Palace.
Yep.
Gotta appreciate those text boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. So Bombo's
taking some serious damage though.
Yeah, he's gotta be careful. So if you follow the breadcrumbs to getting the bow in the coffee break room to get Bombos and Pod, I feel like Meyer would probably be where I would head next.
Yeah, you don't have the key for it, but maybe you're hoping for a vanilla. I guess with the right tricks, Ice Palace is beatable, but I think you need... I forget if you need a key from item locations to clear that. Like item-wise, that is.
Without the hook shot, yes, you need at least a key.
And yeah, arboretic, not picking up his flippers.
Yeah, that's gonna cost him a bit.
Yeah, because those were available. And here's Hitaka, nice, yeah.
Which, you know, to, you know, the point we were making earlier, just a compass there, you know, not having Bombos in Pod, this pretty much is his only play.
Right, yeah. And I'm forgetting where Bo was.
Coffee break room.
Oh yeah, you said that earlier. Yeah, the basement of the Tower of Hera. Arboretic gonna go to the fairy room here in Eastern Palace. Hey, down 2 hearts, you might as well. Beats walking all the way back in.
Especially because Arboretic is gonna go ahead and go in and finish off Armos.
Yeah. And still having to knock onto the castle tower to pick up their lamp. Putting that fire rod to work, though, knowing where the torches are. Meanwhile, looks like that might be just where Pokedude is heading.
Yep, he's gonna get that lamp.
And hopefully that brightens their day. Hitaka waiting patiently for the fire bar, looking to line up their Ice Palace bomb jump. Ricochet off the pegs.
Yep. Arboretic into Armos 6 Knights, Burger and Fries. Those silver arrows, you're going to take down these Knights like clockwork.
Yep. Just wait and press and wait and press. And there you go. 1/4 of the usual value here. Oh no, and Hitaka making the jump, but then falling a little later in the event.
Yeah, not having the hook shot to hook shot your way through the fire bar.
Yeah, you actually have to be a little bit judicious with your timing there.
Yep.
Yeah, so we got green pendant from Eastern. So we're going to go see that turned in since it's so conveniently located.
Alright, so since none of our runners have all of the items that have been discovered at this point, in terms of what we would say is no mode, where we know what we need for go mode, but they don't just yet. Let me see let's see what's here. We got small key to pod. So we need Desert Big Key, we need Pod Big Key, Thieves Town Big Key.
I mean, technically speaking, Ice Palace Big Key, but
and the hook shot. That's probably the big thing we're waiting on right now.
Yeah, because without the boots, the hook shot's gonna get us obviously that spot at the end of Ganon's tower, but also entry into Misery Mire. We can open the door if we have that Bombos medallion, but you can't really kind of cross that first gap, so...
And unfortunately, Arboretic is fake flippering, but missing those flippers in Pod could have saved them a lot of time here.
Yeah.
There's a Desert Big Key and Ice.
Alright. That's a good find.
So now Desert is full clearable.
Yep, we got just the 2 item locations left, one of them, of course, being the boss. And it's gonna earn us one of our blue crystals.
And Hitaka is going to try the bomb jump here to... Normally you would need the hook shot to get across, but you can bomb jump.
You certainly can.
Ooh.
Just a bit misplaced there. See what Barry has to say about it. There we go. Very nice. And yeah, arboretic. Yeah, fake flipping in. Looks like pokedude going for their myths.
Yep. And I imagine Hera also, so we'll get the bow and the cane and the crystal.
Yeah, able to get Hera done in one swoop that way. I think had been in there a little earlier, like most of our other runners, but for what that's worth, it's barely a double dip.
An ice rod and ice cave.
Oh, nice. Seems like a fair enough place to find it. And with the number of keys and the big key, it means that Trinex might be in the game.
Certainly is possible. Although you certainly will go to desert first.
Oh, absolutely. You want to get your crystals.
But... Yeah, if you can't go anywhere else, the seed may be forcing you there.
There you go, Numberplay taking care of that bomb jump after a little bit of trouble.
Pokedude getting that bow.
Yeah, it's going to be a good pickup for them. The loadout they have, going to be able to get back to Pod at some point and get to those flippers, to the... oh, what else was on that Bowlock side? Because the flippers were available. Bombos, right.
And Hitaka heading into the Cold Stare Creamery, where one puff ball of ice cream gets you 400 calories and 4 hearts of damage, but very textbook kill on Cold Stare for some Mountain Dew and a crystal.
Yeah, it was a really solid fight from Hitaka, and yeah, that magic in the bottle there is probably the most appropriate prize to get. Hey, we heard you were empty after unleashing the fire rod. So yeah, really nice fight there.
I didn't even get the chance to say that Hitaka put Cold Stare in the corner.
Yeah, nah, it just blasted him right out of it after that, so. Pod key here out of ice as well. Probably already picked up by Hitaka.
Yeah, I saw him pick it up.
Go by. Arboretic just a little bit misdirected on the bomb jump there. It does take the fall.
And Hitaka is going to head into Desert Palace and finish that off.
Yeah, definitely a wise move, just getting that big key and knowing you got a crystal waiting for you.
He was going to do Lambo first, but then remembered he can go back and get the big chest.
Yeah, and when you're still multiple items away from go mode, then you gotta do both of these anyway.
Can't leave any stone unturned.
And have magic. Hey.
I'll certainly take it.
Better than a compass. That's for sure.
Pokedude is into Trolldorm. Arboretic picking up that Desert Big Key.
It looks like Numberplay is about to go fight Cold Stare, so good. Notable thing here with these Ice Palace dips is no big key, therefore no big chest. This is what's there. Pokedude slipped Moldorm into hyper mode, so yeah.
Gets trolled.
Yeah, what you try to do there is control the amount of damage you do so that you kill them from just above the threshold that sets them off into their double speed. But it can be a little tricky at times depending on your kit.
If you use the hammer... Oh, trolled again. If you use the hammer, you can't avoid Hyper Trolldorm.
Yeah, he was going for looked like the Master Sword spins on that one, but ended up getting knocked off.
Yep. Hitaka heading into Lamb Melissa's Euro truck. Gonna use the Fire Rod strats to take care of those guys, and does it in one cycle.
Yeah, very nice. Having the half magic there definitely helps bolster the confidence and the speed with which you're willing to swing that Fire Rod.
But just
Numberplay cleans that up for Cold Stare.
But just $20 from Lammo, so...
yeah, the crystal, the better prize there.
It is certainly the better prize, but in terms of progressing in this game, we're running out of options fast. That Turtle Rock dip may be in our future.
Yeah, the items are all there. So, we'll have to see which big keys we come up with. Have you ever seen the follow-up play from Numberplay? Gonna go do Desert. We'll certainly see Arboretic heading that way as well.
And Hitaka's heading into Swamp. Lunaire Saran, I'm butchering that name, I'm sorry. He's bringing up a good point. Hitaka still hasn't gotten the bow from the coffee break room or Bombos, so Hitaka cannot get to Turtle Rock just yet.
Right. And then... Arboretic only just now going to be able to start to approach. Or no, I'm misplacing the sequence there. Waiting on them to finish their Tower Hera play. They need to get that cane off of Moldorm. Which means going back to Pod for those flippers. And then to Hobo, as I recall.
Yes. Hitaka getting that red mail. Pokedude electing to pick up that Bloomerang.
Yeah, folks really do love having a boomerang. I will say there's a number of rooms where it helps and can save you a bomb. Of course, at this late in the game, needing the bomb is unlikely.
And down goes Lambo for Numberplay.
Yep, putting that Fire Rod to work after that half magic. It's a nice little combo of events.
Arboretic is going to be into Lambo at this point.
It's waiting on the wall to move. While Pokedude is going to go check out the Spike Cave. And as I recall, pick up a Hyrule Castle key.
Yes. All right, so let's regroup for a sec. What we know at this point is Bo is in coffee break room in Hera basement. Bombos is in pod in the bow lock portion.
Right.
So Numberplay and Hitaka both have got to do that chain of events. Pokedude has the bow, but needs to go back to pod to get Bombos. Arboretic also flippers. Arboretic was there in pod, but neglected to pick up the flippers in the basement, so Arboretic is going to have to make a second dip in there before Arboretic can go into Swamp Palace.
Right. And also, before probably getting their Tower of Hera big key, which will net them the cane, which will enable Mire completion. So right now, one of the things is go to pod for our guys on the right side of the screen. And then on the left side, I think it's, Numberplay's fixing their problem right now. They're going to have that bow right at the end of this. And, other than that, I guess Hitaka has to go cash in that Hera small key as well.
Now, one of our trackers, Liam Atlas, is also pointing out that Arboretic missed the ice rod, which, to be fair to Arboretic, it was in the hook shot, the portion that you would normally use the hook shot to get there. The only reason we know it's there is because Numberplay and Hitaka, well, I know one of them bomb jumped, I don't remember if the other one did, but if Trinex has something, that could put Arboretic behind not having that ice rod.
Yeah, right now, between that and the flippers and pod, that may be enough to spell a very steep climb to the end of the seed.
Now,
the
at
flippers, certainly because of Swamp Palace and the ice rod potentially.
But the one thing that is going to save Arboretic a little bit is that because pod is a crystal, it is going to guarantee that Arboretic has to go back there at some point.
Right, and if they're diligent, I think they already have the compass for that dungeon. They'll note the lower than completed item count. But check this out. We're opening up Turtle Rock. But without that cane, can't quite get there yet.
Yeah, I imagine Arboretic's just opening it up and then gonna do probably. I think Arboretic's going in.
Yeah, might want to get the magic refill. No, actually, had thought for a second they had the cane, I suppose.
Forgot about it.
Yeah. I had tempered and a fairy bottle for Numberplay. So we'll have a bit of safety and a bit extra attack power.
Hitaka also going into the coffee break room, and we'll get the bow there. Arboretic's going to try to open Mire, but without boots or hook shot, Arboretic cannot get in there.
Yeah, this is an interesting turn of events for him. He's kind of having a couple of missteps here.
And Numberplay using that bow and making a beeline for pod.
Yeah, they'll be able to pick up their bombos, and that'll do well for them. They do have the cane, so if they were to head back up the mountain, would be able to explore Turtle Rock. But Arboretic realizing then that they're in fact in lack of some gap crossing tools. Yeah, and it'll probably be a bit before Arbor gets back to Palace of Darkness for those flippers. Right now, it's putting a hard stop on being able to get these things done.
Yeah. But Hitaka is right on Numberplay's tail and gonna get that get the Bombos tablet also. We should also on right now that this is in fact two separate races. Numberplay and pokedude are racing against each other. Numberplay is 2 and 2, pokedude is 1 and 3. Hitaka and arboretic are racing each other, and they're both 2 and 2.
Right, yeah, not a 4-way race, but 2 1v1s. Oh, right, and the Eastern Palace Big Key coming out of pod as well. And only for a green pendant, not worth much, but is at least going to get these guys moving around a bit.
Yeah, Numberplay rage slashing, finding the Bombos there. I imagine that's the same with, not thinking to go back to Terra.
Yeah, it was an interesting little loop to tie off there. Because that Bombos, of course, drags him back up the mountain from where he found the bow to get into that side of pod.
We are going to get a check on that vanilla Big Key chest.
Yeah, with the key to access it. Find out if this is anything of great import. Oh, an arboretic heading into Aga Tower.
Just a little bit of love.
Yeah, heart piece there.
Arboretic is finally going to get that lamp.
Yup. They'll see the light. There it is.
Numberplay going to finish off Eastern. I imagine Hitaka will probably be behind him as well in that. And then I imagine Turtle Rock will be a call-in. Yeah,
at that point, there's really not a whole lot else to be doing. No way into Mire, which is where you'd like to be. No Big Key for the back half of Thieves Town. We've been into Swamp and need that hook shot to do the rest. And the pod Big Key eludes us yet.
Yeah, pretty much for go mode, we need hook shot, pod Big Key, Thieves Town Big Key. And at least one more pod small key.
Right.
Arboretic gonna also do, while he was up in Aga Tower, is gonna do Dark Sewers, finally getting the lamp, and now gonna pick up that Hera Big Key.
Well, hopefully that puts in mind to go ahead on back up there.
I mean, the routing will actually work out, because if you go finish Hera, you're gonna get the Cane on Trolldorm. And that would, I mean, you can just make a beeline for Turtle Rock from there.
Right, and still lacking the flippers out of pod, but that won't be relevant for Turtle Rock, and so we'll maybe get that pod Big Key out of Turtle Rock if it's there and head on back.
Yeah. If the hook shot is there, though, that will cause some problems for Arboretic.
And again, mostly just runners retracing their steps at this point.
Yeah, let's, while we have the moment, we'll give another shout out to our trackers, Liam Atlas and Melee Wizard. They're doing a good job keeping track of all their items, as well as our restreamer, Synac. Please give all of them a follow on Twitch, as well as all of our runners, Numberplay, pokedude14, Hitaka, and Arboretic, as well as myself, my co-commentator, Epipletakis. Man, I screwed that up.
Epi's fine. But yeah, if you enjoy what you're seeing of these runners, great way to see more of them is, of course, to when to follow, turn on those notes, and you'll know when they're up and what they're playing. Arboretic opting for the traditional fall-in route for the big chest in Hera. 10 bomb upgrade. Pokedude working their way around.
It looked like Pokedude was about to burn a key on the Dark Maze door.
Yeah, and then opted out, perhaps wisely.
Although the Swamp Big Key is there.
Yeah, they're gonna opt around front though in order to be sure to get the. Oh, actually, it looks like maybe they'll go for the big key chest,
which is just a piece of heart. Arboretic
right.
Getting that cane of Samaria.
Yeah, finishing off Moldorm, earning that red cane, and being in an opportune place to use it over in Turtle Rock if they so desire.
And I'm usually very reluctant to say which runner has a lead and which one doesn't, but for a while, there's Pokedude getting the flippers. For a while, there's been a part of me that has kind of been thinking that Arboretic is behind pace of Hitaka, but actually with doing that Hera play and getting that Hera big key, I would say they're pretty much neck and neck at this point.
Yeah, the big thing that's, of course, holding up Arboretic is when will they get the flippers back out of pod?
But we are about to see
what's just potential loss.
Yeah, we're about to see what's in Turtle Rock, though, and I imagine something in here is going to be of value. Because this is the only dungeon they have left to check.
Yeah, certainly right there. And so we have our fire rod available, so there's going to be 3 chests on this floor. Pod key.
Okay. That gives us enough to full clear if you hammer yump. Although, forgetting that Numberplay didn't have the bow, he's actually going to need 5. Although if Numberplay gets into go mode, he could elect to forego the chest, and then he would have enough to get straight to Helmasaur.
Oh no! Numberplay working the way off the platform might run out of time on getting to this door. Oh, they sneak in. Nice.
He just got in.
Yeah. Yeah, without the hook shot, that room can mostly just be a bit annoying.
Map to Thieves Town. Map to Swamp. So 2 maps there.
Yeah, you know what's normally in that room? A map.
Yeah.
That is the Turtle Rock map room, just doubling down on its namesake.
It's funny, it's been like so long since I played this game vanilla that some of the rooms I completely forget where stuff was.
Yeah, definitely a natural thing after so much randomizer.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually the only reason you remember some of it is if the room is called by, if the chest is called by it, you know, because
right.
There's obviously the vanilla big key chest in Turtle Rock. We use that name pretty frequently.
Yeah. Now, Numberplay pulling off a nice strat there, using 1 Samaria block in the chain chomp room. Be able to work that whole puzzle over. Now making their way through the pipes. We got hope in chat for Laser Bridge to have the goods. It seems likely for chest right in a row should have at least one good thing anyway.
Having the Brian Cane, they will be able to get there. It is in the logic.
Right.
There's that blind sprite you were talking about earlier for...
Yeah, arboretic, that, yeah, the bunny beam sprite.
We have a ton of artists that do a bunch of good sprite artwork for all this customization. Shout out to all of them.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to be able to go through as, in not just a completely mixed up version of Hyrule, but with any which character you so desire. Alright, so Numberplay, first one out onto the bridge. Gonna hit up the Gariah Cave, Mimic Cave, whatever you want to call it.
I'm gonna opt for hammer strats.
Yeah, taking advantage of the movement behavior. There to grab the rail and get them where they want. And a Misery Mire small key. So, nothing, basically. Arboretic shortly behind here in the Mimic Cave, and Hitaka gonna be on the way there in a sec. Meanwhile, Pokedude finding their way out of pod and going, I guess, over to the island, maybe remembering the mushroom over there?
Yeah, I would imagine. Alright, well, unless there's an item in this chest, it's gonna be Laser Bridge or Trinex.
We would expect. And it's bombs.
Alright.
Pokedude finally having their flippers is taking care of some of these checks here. Going to Hobo. Grabbing the Misery Mire, big key. Gonna go up to the waterfall, wishing, and finally get their flute. And probably be feeling a strong inclination to go to Mire, but of course, lacking the boots or hookshot, not quite be able to get in and do the job.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Numberplay getting on down the Laser Bridge. Gonna have to be careful here. Have a bit of the time. Did finally take care of that mini Helmasaur, who can be a way bigger pain than his size gives him credit for.
Alright.
Thieves Town big.
Big key to Thieves Town.
That is progress. And the boots. Oh boy.
What are those?
They are potentially progress. They get us into Mire, for one thing.
It also gets us Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb.
Right. Oh no. Alright, just squeezing that one out. Getting the ferry there, and you're here at Trinex, and so, gotta say, I agree with the play. You don't want to make this again in case Trinex has something.
Yes, better safe than sorry.
But if you felt like you were behind, then maybe you'd just run right out to Thieves Town and say, well, if I'm already doomed.
But Numberplay is in fact going to head into Stony King's Grill and Chill.
And, that's right, Lunar Saren. This is Ice Rod's one required purpose. If you want to kill Trinex,
now
you don't have that item.
Now Arboretic chose to nope out of there. We saw a big heart in King's Tomb.
Ah, interesting.
And a big heart on Trinex.
Alright. Well, a diligent play, if not a required one. Or if an unrequired one.
So, forgetting that Ice Rod for Arboretic is not gonna come back to bite them. The flippers are still outstanding that Arboretic missed in pod.
Yep.
We're gonna get this
Now,
one
Numberplay is going to bonk for one chest, yeah.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was about to say. And then
but Barry is having none of it.
And I have to imagine Thieves Town is next in the order.
Oh yeah, well you got the big key, so you gotta go do. They've had that small key for a while as well. Just rupees there. Would have been a real fun place to find the hook shot.
And actually, that's where Arboretic is heading. He's going right into Thieves Town.
Yep. Meanwhile, Hitaka finishes off Trinex as well. Yeah, and then after Thieves Town, a trip to Mire. Unless you find the swamp, or the hookshot here, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, well, unfortunately for Arboretic, without having the flippers.
Oh yeah, for Arboretic, that's gonna be an issue. You'd almost rather him find the pod big key, so send him back for his flippers.
You know what Arboretic also doesn't have? The Thieves Town small key.
Oh man, that's huh. Meanwhile, Hitaka going right for Thieves Town, I would guess.
Certainly looks like it.
Pokedude is peeking at the map.
Our tracker bringing up that it was the mushroom leading to the Thieves Town small key, which again, those flippers are coming back to bite him. So,
oh man.
So once Hitaka opens up that Thieves Town big chest, we're going to see if another one of these mishaps comes back to bite Arboretic.
Yeah, oh, the worst possible thing I would say to be in the Thieves Town big chest right now would be the pod big key.
And here we go. Numberplay is going to blind pull for the swag net.
Yeah, I hadn't even noticed they managed to slip 3 pendants. The absolute madman. That's pretty fun. But yeah, we'll see in a few moments when Hitaka gets to the basement just what the flippers are costing Arboretic. Meanwhile, Pokedude,
there's the pod big key.
Out of the maiden chest.
Alright. So,
alright.
Okay, so that will force Hitaka to pod. Hopefully we'll get that, finally get the flippers. Arboretic heading into Blind's Bistro.
Yeah, this boss fight being one of the more interesting ones, not because the devs put puns on the front of it, but rather the quote-unquote damage table. If you can hit Blind with an item, then you only need to hit them 9 times with it.
Yep.
Where a lot of our other bosses have variable tables depending on your item, and Arboretic making it look relatively easy there.
He does make it relatively easy. Alright, here's the moment of truth. Hitaka is gonna check that chest. We had a small key to pod on Blind.
Yes, that's a nice double reminder for Arbor to get over there. And a Turtle Rock small key. Oh man. So okay, yeah, probably not gonna cost anything up there.
Unless, well, okay, so at this point, we're just down to hookshot. So that
if that was in the in the big key location in Turtle Rock, oh man. Yeah, it's got some potential, but we'll have to see.
Hitaka is into Blind's Bistro as well. You were talking about Blind's puns. I was like, hey, I bring all the puns. I'm more than happy for puns.
Yeah. Alright, Pokedude gonna be heading into Turtle Rock as well. I'm gonna kind of bring him back onto a little closer pace with the rest of the group.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Arboretic has received the message, is going back to pod. Gonna clear this out and hopefully be noticing the number on his compass does not read 14 out of 14.
Well, he's gonna do Vanilla Big Key first, which that will lead to the basement.
Yeah, so hopefully this gets him his flippers, and that should set him back on the path towards completing this thing.
I'm trying to remember where the Meyer Big Key was. Was it on Hobo?
I think that was the key at Hobo, yeah. And so, just another thing. Held off the tracker for Arbor by those flippers.
Alright, so Arboretic is gonna get those flippers.
Yeah, and you can almost feel the sense of urgency in the movement now, as Arboretic must realize that, oh, this was available earlier via a drop-in.
And Hitaka gonna make the play on Meyer.
Yeah, strong move. You can finish this. You can clear out all the item locations.
And Arboretic choosing to go right for Helmasaur and not even bother with the pod big chest.
Interesting. I guess figuring it's worth the quick trip here and then a quick trip there as well. Just at that point, it's just a matter of the order you fancy.
We'll see if Arboretic remembers to go back. Alright, so at this
First
point we
location
are...
out of Meyer, just a heart container.
Yep, and at this point we are a hook shot away from go mode.
Yep, that's going to enable us to beat Swamp Palace, which has been, I think, otherwise cleared by all of our runners except for Arboretic, who only just got their flippers.
Yeah, and that brings up a good point, though. Once you get that hook shot, you're going to have everything, and you can just go mode Swamp at that point.
Right. And since we know the hookshot is not in there, it would seem for Arboretic, as long as they don't go there on their own election, that they will get to go mode it.
Yeah, I would say at this point, unless Vanilla Big Key Chest and Turtle Rock has something, Arboretic is going to avoid having lost the, not having the flippers for the longest time, as he heads into the Helmasaur Steakhouse where we see her and tenderize you as opposed to the steaks. And a very clean Helmasaur fight.
Yep, able to mitigate any action from the fireballs there. Just delivering some attacks post-mask.
Just a piece of heart and a crystal, though. Now will Arboretic remember to go back to the big chest?
Yeah, that'll be the thing, and that'll be the, this is the first look we're getting at this, so... Couldn't say this a lot during the seed, but Arboretic giving us the fresh info. Just on account of that little mishap with those flippers.
Arboretic is remembering, so we will see what's there.
Yeah. And
But
there's
there's the
hookshot out
hookshot!
of Misery Meyer, yep.
That is
so we
go
are
mode.
in the go mode.
Sorry. Sorry to talk over there.
Nah, I mean, we're a team, that's no big deal.
Yeah, 1 hour, 55 minutes, and 10 seconds. Hitaka is officially into go mode at this point.
Yep, and gonna have a pretty easy time of just finishing this one up now. Was really well positioned to just switch to getting down towards Vitreous, and then just has to go into the back of Swamp. For the record, Pokedude opening that big key chest for the Thieves' Town Compass. So, yeah, not too much there.
All right. And just $300 in the big chest and pod.
So yeah, it looks like it'll be Hitaka and Numberplay racing to the finish on this. And actually, both of those guys do still need to do the Palace of Darkness.
Well, and that was actually the thing I was about to get to is, arboretic, having finished off pod, is actually 1 crystal ahead of Hitaka. So as soon as arboretic remembers to go to Mire and get the hook shot, all arboretic has to do is go to Swamp, and arboretic is into the gauntlet, and he's gonna get the Misery Mire big key here.
This could set him off on the trail that he needs to hit.
And Hitaka heading into the Vitreous Juice Bar, where we serve all kinds of flavors of juice, as long as it's poisonous jelly flavor you're looking for.
Yeah, with these silver arrows, this Vitreous fight is really not an issue. You just have to aim up and fire. And you get a sword upgrade, so that's pretty good.
We got butter on Vitreous and crystal number 6 overall.
Butter, is that what that is?
Yeah, that's what kids are calling it this day, is butter sword.
Yeah.
And arboretic is in fact going to head into Mire.
Yeah. I guess, well, butter probably does do 1 heart of damage in real life, right?
True. I know some people call the tempered sword tempora sword, but it's kind of this. It's enough syllables that I don't really. I just stick with tempered.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna see another quick Vitreous fight from Numberplay here.
Yep.
And Hitaka gonna leave Swamp for last, perhaps. Oh no, changing routes and head in, finish off Argus. Be able to completely go mode the remaining bits of pod. Yeah, arboretic has decided to hit up the Misery Mire dungeon, and so this is gonna bode very well for them and keep them a little closer to in this thing.
What's also interesting here is, in the normal open mode Keysanity, normally you go in, the runners elect to go right side first and get the chests here. But since Keysanity, some of the runners have found a way to route it where you go left side first and then hook shot over to the chest. But doing the normal route here for arboretic is actually going to get him to go, he's going much faster and getting that hook shot sooner than Hitaka did.
Yeah. And now I gotta wonder, at this point with that hook shot, there's nothing else for them to pick up, right?
Hitaka is in go mode at this point.
Or arboretic.
Or arboretic, sorry.
No, that's alright. Hitaka certainly is.
But I meant to say that arboretic is in go mode, and arboretic realizes it now.
Right, yeah, and is on their way to Vitreous. Good. As Hitaka goes to pick up the key they were lacking for that back door.
Alright, so basically, at this point, Hitaka is going to finish off Swamp close to around the time the Arboretic finishes off Mire. So that's going to leave Go Mode Pod for Hitaka and Go Mode Swamp for Arboretic. So this is going to be a close race on the bottom.
Yeah, it is closer than the proceedings of the race may have kind of warned. And so all the warning signs came out for Arboretic regarding Pod, and they were able to make good on that. We've got ourselves a race. Meanwhile, up top, Pokedude did get down to the bridge, and Turtle Rock is missing that Ice Rod, as was Arboretic, and is going to just skip a totally skippable Trinex fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now with Boots, I'm going to have to deal with the guards for a sec while they try to get into King's Tomb.
And pretty much at the same time as Arboretic heads into Vitreous, Hitaka heads into Argus' Tavern and Crab Shack. Sorry.
And you can see the love of eyeballs in the boss designers here. And not just that, but the love of eyeballs having lots of little guys that hang around with them.
Absolutely. Down goes Vitreous for Arboretic.
And a weakness to silver arrows to boot, as both these guys take them down.
All right. Yeah, I got a frog in my throat right when I was trying to finish that name.
Alright, so Numberplay. With that gold sword, just one slash apiece. You get away with that on Tempered Sword even. And put the spins into Argus. Gonna be hot on the heels of Hitaka. But of course, not their racing opponent, just very much their peer.
Mm-hmm. But in terms of race opponents, Hitaka and Arboretic are into their final dungeons before the gauntlet.
Yep. Yeah, and Hitaka's gonna get into their dungeon proper a bit ahead. But for what it's worth, this whole ritual of flooding the dam is about as much a part of the dungeon as any other part of the dungeon.
Alright. And by nature of the dungeon length, our Hitaka is going to be into Helmastar first before Arboretic gets to Argus.
Yeah, and Arboretic also still clearing item locations. Don't think they realize just how go their mode is.
I mean, except for that red mail that Arboretic just picked up, I don't know what Arboretic would be looking for, because the way Arboretic finished off Mire, I have to imagine they know that they are in go mode.
Yeah, at this point it might just be nerves or muscle memory. But in either case, Hitaka proceeding to the lower floor after the long cutscene. Yeah, and it's clear that Arbor is aware again as they skip that big chest.
Yep.
Hitaka is gonna pound the mask off of Helmasaur. They definitely dodge the fireballs.
Good job there. He does, unfortunately, doesn't get it the second time.
There goes the mask.
And 2 butter slashes, and down goes Helmasaur.
Yep.
Alright. Hitaka picking up that 7th crystal, and it is time for Hitaka to run the gauntlet.
And Arboretic still sending mixed messages about whether or not they know they're in go mode.
Probably, I'd have to imagine it's muscle memory of, oh yeah, do this chest, do this chest.
Yeah. They pick up their last key there from under the skull. And about to pop into the boss room. It was Crystal 7 for Numberplay 2 after a perfectly fine Helmasaur fight. This pokedude absconds away from the big chest in Thieves Town after getting that Turtle Rock key. Yeah, there goes Argus for Arboretic.
And Pokedude isn't blind at this point.
Yeah, we'll have to mark the time when Hitaka enters the tower. See just how far behind Arboretic is and if this gap ends up closing towards the end of it.
And Hitaka is going to walk in the door at 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 17 seconds.
Noted.
Two hours, 8 minutes, 43 seconds for Numberplay.
Yeah, about 26 seconds difference there.
The key one will be with Arboretic.
Right.
He's going to be about a minute behind at this point.
Yeah, and perhaps a bit more for the length of that cutscene. Certainly within the realm of possibilities to see a comeback here.
I mean, we always like to say at this point, you know, one too many falls to Trolldorm, one too many Ganon hugs, and this race can change in a hurry. That was 2 hours, 9 minutes, and about 30 seconds for Arboretic.
Yep. It's about a minute 15-ish. As Hitaka is into the gauntlet proper. Having a little trouble getting the silver hours to land, decides, you know what, I do have Butter Sword. And it makes the better of it. As Numberplay starts, there's... And Hitaka running into the Beamos a bit there, but getting that last room of the gauntlet done. Opting for safety here is gonna get the Lambos all spawning at once. The gold sword, that's pretty clever, I think. If you're gonna have them all spawn at once, you may as well try to hit as many at once as you can. And there we go.
2 cycle, but very clean there.
Yeah, pretty quick. Yeah, 210.45 coming out on the first Wizrobe room. Wow, arboretic going through their gauntlet.
Very clean with the skull Wizrobes for Hitaka.
Yeah, when you got that cane, it's you hope it's a gimme anyway.
All right.
And then Armory opting to put the medallions to work here.
He's losing time with those, though.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I mean, compared perhaps to what they were feeling like they might perform otherwise.
Because his arboretic goes into Lambo 2, Hitaka's into Trolldorm 2.
Yeah, it looks like about another 15 seconds added to the difference between Hitaka and arboretic at this point at about 1.5 minutes. No last chest check from Hitaka. Doesn't need anything, and so it's perfectly reasonable.
Yep.
We'll get Hitaka starting Aga 2.
Here we go.
Able to get a single out of that.
Yep. Just another single there.
They should be right for a, yeah, at least a double there. Maybe too quick, though.
Yeah, it felt like they hit at the same time.
Oh, and puts them wide there. But able to finish it off.
Yeah, that must have been a double because down goes Hitaka, or down goes Aga 2 for Hitaka.
Yeah, no, not Hitaka. Don't curse him.
Yeah. It's time for the big pick, though.
Yeah, we're gonna have our Ganon fight coming up in just a moment. Meanwhile, Numberplay. Ooh, almost getting the triple out of that. Although that one may have been a too close for the double. These patterns are... they're not terrible, but they're definitely not the most straightforward.
Down goes Aga for Numberplay.
Yep. And arboretic making their way out of the Moldorum 2 fight now. Eschewing the last chest.
Hitaka already into phase 2.
And gonna put that hook shot to work, trying to make sure they get enough hits in. And if they're careful with their counting, should be on the phase 3. Yep, there it goes.
Yep. Right as Numberplay is heading into Ganon as well.
Being very careful to get the hits.
Goes for the double shot, but avoids the torch glitch.
Yeah, but with that setup, who needs it? Very nice fight, especially that phase 4.
Yep, and we have bacon.
Yep, GG.
GG to Hitaka indeed. He's going to head into that door, and we have an official SRL time of 2 hours, 15 minutes, and 10 seconds. Get those GGs in chat.
Oh, and Numberplay taking the fall. Oh, that's going to be unfortunate, but little do they know they've got a bit of a buffer at this point.
Yes, they do. Arboretic is in again at this point.
And that's 6 hits for Arboretic in phase 2. Just to do the dance of the fire bats, and doesn't quite sneak in that first hit in phase 3 early enough to avoid.
He got it.
Well, he got the hit, but the fire bats came out.
Okay.
Yeah, always the goal here. You get your hit in before the jump, and even a little bit before that, you'll not have to worry about fire.
Yeah. And that's phase 4 for Arboretic. Numberplay will be in phase 5 here.
Oh no!
Oh!
Getting just a bit aggressive with the sword slash there, and I want to say that was about the same way that Numberplay had fallen off, was on that very same teleport.
It's pretty
kind of getting swallowed off the cliff. That's an interesting bit of collision code. All right. Ooh, almost nailed the triple there. Oh, very close to death there was Numberplay finishing that one off.
But we have bacon for Numberplay.
And Arboretic taking another go at this.
We have an official SRL time of 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 31 seconds for Numberplay. GG's in chat to him. And we are joined by Hitaka in chat. GG.
Thank you.
Yeah, GG. Polished that one off pretty nicely. Really strong phase 4 on the Ganon.
Yeah, that went perfect. He put himself in exactly the right spot that I could get double doubles.
Yeah. But man, what a weird run around this seed. It seemed like go here, get the big key, go there, get the small key. By the way, the boss has an item for somewhere else. Especially with that cane felt especially weird, and then that late hook shot. Yeah.
Oh my god, that hook shot was terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, the boots required Meyer.
And laser bridge of pendant TR.
Right. But yeah, then the Trinex fight not amounting to anything was a bit salty after all that work, but at least it wasn't a huge setback. It would have been worse to have not done it in a way, right?
Oh, pedestal was bug net.
It was.
By the time I was fighting Trinex, I figured it might be a pedestal seed. I don't know. I'm just gonna kill him anyway.
Oh, and there goes Arboretic getting their last hit on Ganon. GG.
GG.
Yeah, we knew for a while that the swag net was on the pedestal.
Yeah, I just did Skull immediately because that didn't work out. It didn't give me anything, but the fire rod was right there, so I figured like it was just telling me, hey, go finish the dungeon, so I did. So I never had an opportunity to check pedestal after that.
Right. And so, looks like we've got Numberplay has joined us as well. GG, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
And the rather odd Ganon fall, it looked like that also, the very same thing happened to Arboretic too, where he just kind of, with that one teleport, just ended up sort of eating off the side of the map.
Well, I was a bit surprised by Hitaka finishing, so I can't say that didn't play a part in it.
Yeah. But yeah, we were just saying what an odd runaround the seed gave.
Yeah, sorry, I kind of lost my voice. I'm not going to be talking that much, but yeah.
GG.
Man, I did a little more of a runaround than I had to, because I was so confused in the middle.
Oh yeah, I think everybody kind of did though, and it came down to for you leaving those flippers behind in pod.
Yep.
But luckily, the way that one rolled out, you guys were actually only about a minute apart before arboretic unfortunately fell to Ganon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, really, the only difference it made not having those flippers was when Hitaka was able to get into Meyer with the boots. He already had the Meyer big key, so he didn't have to go back for it, whereas you had to go back to pod to get the flippers, that's what set you back.
Yeah.
I don't even remember where the Meyer big key was. Where was that?
Hobo.
That'd be Hobo. Yep.
Oh yeah, I played. That's right, from Fake Flippers.
That whole seed, I was so confused, like, what the sequence was supposed to be, because it's like, I was doing sequence breaks to get everything, and then I didn't do enough of the sequence breaks, and, like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was an interesting part of the beginning of the seed, too, was that early Dark World access. I want to say we didn't see anybody in Eastern for, like, 50 minutes or something like that. It was weird.
And yet there was nothing in there.
Right. So, just as well, right? And, yeah, just getting, I think we watching had the information about Dark World access about 4 minutes in. So, yeah, not a usual type of seed.
I thought early on that Agate Tower might be required because it gave both tower keys really, really early.
It sure did.
And
then
it turned
that
out,
lamp being there.
Yeah, and lamp was the bottom chest, so the keys weren't required at all. The middle chest
Right.
was like a heart piece or something. And
That was quite a meme run. With
Yeah.
it gave two medallions early, and they weren't both not required for dungeons, of course.
But-
Yeah, then I wanted the third. Well, what's
the
that number?
The best part was Palace of Darkness unlocking the pedestal.
Yeah, you went for the blind pool, I guess, huh? Or had you read it?
I knew it wasn't in logic, but I just wanted to go for it.
Right, I mean, you're there. May as well. Yeah, for the surprise net, as it says.
Hey, at least it's a good item, right?
Yeah, I mean, better than a big 20, that's for sure.
Hey, you can get safety fairies, that's useful.
I can't remember the last time I used that yet.
Any other thoughts on the seed, funny moments for you, or just for the tournament in general?
I apologize to everyone for that moment where I went to Meyer and realized I couldn't do anything in Meyer, went all the way around to Turtle Rock and realized I couldn't do anything in Turtle Rock.
It's
No
alright.
worries.
Just so confused about where progress was.
I still regret going in Swamp without those shot.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, for what it ended up being worth, the that play where you're like, oh, well, of course Hookshot would be in Swamp at this point, but yeah.
For me,
Then it was just kidding, Laser Bridge for your eventual Hookshot.
For me,
It was in Meyer, and I'm
Yeah.
glad I went in Meyer before Palace of Darkness to finish it.
Yeah, I think it was Boots and Thieves Town Big Key that were on the laser bridge.
For me, by the time I went into Swamp without Hookshot, it was either that or Hera Basement. So, I picked Swamp,
Yeah.
and I was wrong.
Well, yeah, because that's where the bow was.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I mean, statistically, yeah, you pick Swamp every time.
Yeah, but
That book in Skullwoods was the last item I could have checked, and I went straight to Ether Tablet for the mids.
Yup. Yeah,
it
we
was-
saw that you had bombed that on the way in. You were so sure of it.
Oh, there was no other item I could have checked, so it was definitely progression.
Yeah, but that was the one thing about this sea was that it was a lot of stuff was in very one-off locations, like Ether Tablet, Basement of Hera, Skullwood's Big Chest. Like there was a lot of like backtracking you guys had to do.
Yeah, a classic Keysanity seed in that way. But I guess one of the things that each of you ended up doing was nobody ever did find the Ice Palace Big Key, or really many of the Ice Palace keys at all. So that was probably a whole nother installment of this seed to confound and frustrate on.
The only spots outside of Ganon's Tower that maybe they were in Bonk. Did anyone check like Bonk Rocks or King's Tomb after they had boots?
The lava room maybe in Turtle Rock.
Oh yeah, I skipped that one.
Nope, that was a compass. I think
And
Bonk
Bonk
Rocks
and King's Tomb were no worth.
I did check those.
Some of you up here, yeah, had checked it.
The pot big chest.
Rupees. Yeah, 300 rupees, I think.
I think I'm only missing like 2 items in pot, 3 in swamp, and 1 in mire.
Yeah, all things considered for this one, the collection rate is pretty good.
Yeah, that's a really low collection rate for kind of a long trolling seed.
Yeah, if only we didn't have to go all the way around that mountain every time.
Yeah.
I think that's the big time sink in the sea.
Yeah, travel seed as Pokedude finishes off Argus.
that will put him at 4 crystal, or 1, 2, yeah, 4.
Yeah, it's been shying away from Ice Palace, as far as I can tell, and that's where the Desert Palace Big Key is, and that's actually all that he needs for Go Mode if he knows the tricks for Ice Palace. But yeah, it looks like he'll go to Pyramid.
Oh yeah, I didn't check Pyramid as well.
I didn't check that either. That might be where Ice Palace Big Key is.
Yeah,
It might be.
No one checked it up to this point, because that was pretty much... Swamp was Go Mode for pretty much all of you.
Yeah, Hookshot was my Go Mode.
Yeah, that was the most sort of cleverly hidden item, apart from the last couple of Big Keys.
We had Arboretic drop off, so let's make sure we give him a final shout out and GG for completing that race.
Yeah, GG's to Arboretic. Yeah, I'm curious to see what is here now. I wonder if we'll see a shovel and a cape, or some combination of keys. There it is, Ice Palace Big Key. We're getting word from Arboretic that it was feline-related technical difficulties, so... Yeah. He said he was glad it didn't happen 10 minutes sooner.
Yeah, really. That worked out.
Muganim fight!
Also, I'd like to give a shout out to all the volunteers who came together at the last minute to get this race restreamed. Because about 40 minutes before we were set to go, we weren't going to be restreamed, and then everyone came together at the last second to put it together.
Yeah, well, always glad to help out. It's fun to get to do this, to watch the race, and
Yeah, that's a big shout out to our restreamer Synac.
yeah, because that is the core piece. Well, besides the racers, of course. Nothing to restream if no one's racing.
nothing to commentate if no one's racing.
Yep.
And pokedude looks like he's finally gonna make that ice play.
Yeah, he's got his fire rod out, gonna be ready to hit up that Freezor.
I was so worried I'd find the Ice Palace Bicky and the hookshot would be there.
It was something that had been on my mind as well, that chest was going unchecked. Maybe it'll be the, I'm still wondering where the shovel was.
Well, there's 27 chests in Ganon's tower.
It's true.
Did anyone check any of the top 4 chests?
Nope.
No. No one even did validation chests, huh?
Yeah, I think everyone eschewed that last chest. I want to say somebody opened up the one right before it, though, mostly probably out of habit, though. Maybe it was arboretic.
Yeah, I had Butter Sword and Red Mail. There was nothing that just could have given me.
Right.
Yeah, same, and silvers.
Yeah, but you guys are welcome to hang with us while we finish this one off. By no means obligated to. As pokedude continues to descent into Ice Palace.
I wish I had done Uncle before South Shore, because then I would have had Moon Pearl and I would have gotten Flute super early when I Fate Flippered.
Yeah,
That was another play that seemed to get really, really delayed, was the Waterfall of Wishing.
Yeah, because we saw both you and Numberplay do the fake flipper, but couldn't water walk because of not having the Moon Pearl.
The only reason I went south instead of the castle was because I wanted access to Aghanim's tower. I already had a key.
That is exactly the same reason I did.
Yeah, definitely reasonable plays for the way the game works. Oh. Yeah, that is just Keysanity for you.
I also thought it was polite of the game to have a sword in Tower of Hera, because I checked either tablet, saw Mitts, and I went into Hera and there was a sword right there, so I could just go back
Oh,
up.
right, yeah. Yeah, I forgot that was the order that you found those in. We were very excited for you when you were the first person to read it, I think.
Yeah,
And so we're like, please go get that sword.
I guess the rest of us did sequence break to Era and got that sword swirly and left the book so late.
Yeah, you and both Hitaka and Numberplay, you both did pretty much the same routing in terms of sequence breaks. There was a while where we were both having to remember, like, okay, they got this cane, yeah, but that's a sequence break. Okay, they got the what else did you guys get? Something else was like, oh yeah, but
basically
that's
anything on the mountain.
was pretty much a sequence break.
Yeah, my first model, which led to the Ganon Big Key. There was all those lamp lock items, and the lamp, even the lamp was a sequence break because access to a Ganon was from the Master Sword in Era.
Right. And you
So,
hadn't
yeah.
found the flute yet.
Oh yeah.
And the flute in Waterfall was the point where all that sequence break ended.
I actually forgot that was all the mountain stuff was sequence broken, so I was just running around looking for whatever.
And Big Key there out of Ice Palace, and I'm wondering which one it must have been.
That was the desert one, so
Yeah, that's the go mode.
that would be go mode for Pokedude.
Oh, does anyone know what that one chest in the pod dark maze was? Because I could not figure out what it was. I got it in the dark and it didn't say anything, and I looked at my screen and I couldn't
which
find
row?
out. I think it was the top one in dark maze.
Our tracker Liam Atlas is pointing out that it was an arrow upgrade.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I know the bottom one was a good item, but the top one was junk. Oh yeah, it was the swamp big key at the bottom of the maze.
Anyone see him drop in for his cold stare fight?
Cold Stare Creamery for Pokedude. Actually, having the Bombos medallion, he won't need to spend all the magic on Fire Rod, which he didn't have enough to do anyway.
Yeah, he might have a potion in his possession, but yeah, gonna be able to get this done a little quicker either way. Yeah, and Gold Sword's gonna help us out too. So we'll be able to get this done nice and easy. Doubling down with the spins. They're not actually doing extra damage on the hit, but getting 2 of them in is obviously better than 1.
Yep.
Oh, right, and the bottle off a Cold Stare. I forgot about that. With the green goo, or no less.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad. After I used my blue potion to quicken the fight.
Yeah, if I remember it, it was either you or Hitaka, but one of you just absolutely roasted Cold Stare. I want to say Hitaka, you squeezed him into the corner and just didn't let him out.
Yeah, I destroyed him.
Yeah, well, I wasn't worried about the fight. I had a blue potion, and I intended to use it to use more fire rod shots.
Right, and yeah, your fight ended up going off very quickly too.
I thought overall I had pretty good boss fights this run. Like, I went into Mothula severely under-equipped, and I managed to take him down.
Yeah, this definitely was an opportunity for a very, very early Mothula.
Oh yeah, with the fire rod inside.
Yeah, and I think you all pretty much seized it.
Yeah, it was fairly clean boss fights from all of you.
The only issue is that fire rod was completely optimal in this scene. I mean optional. There was no required fire rod items.
Yeah, and I don't think anything... Yeah, nothing out of Ice Palace prevented the access to Bombos. So,
Backup Skulls didn't have anything, Trinex didn't have anything.
There were 2 maps in the Fire Rod room.
Oh yeah, and Turtle Rock, yeah.
The map room.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
just
I
doubling
think Fire
down.
was optional, despite how early you gave it to us. That's interesting.
That's how the seed trolls sometimes.
Hey, if Trolly is giving me Fire Rod, I'll take it.
I mean, yeah, a perspective that I understand, but...
Of course, I guess the real issue there would be over-application of the Fire Rod and then running out of magic, but yeah.
Well, with the way this seed was shaped, there was no way anyone would skip that fire rod where it's
no
at.
way.
Especially when the required bug was right next to it.
And down goes Lambo.
That's 6 for Pokedude.
Yep.
And
And we're gonna head back to Helmassar.
Yep, he's got all 6 keys. Won't matter, he just needs the ones to get to Helmassar, and then he'll be up to the gauntlet.
Indeed. Oh,
Looks like Numberplay dropped off. One final GG to him.
indeed, GG.
While we have a moment, we have a lot of Keysanity action going on tomorrow. We actually at 4 a.m. have Stinger PA and Samurai Man on Speed Gaming. That's a 3-1 match. At 3 p.m. we have a 4-0 match between Christos Owens and Someone 325. And at the same time, Restreamed will also have the OK Dude and Epic Ranger. That's a 3-1 race. At 9 p.m. we're gonna have Pika Pals and TGH. That is a 4-0 race. And also at 9 p.m. we'll have a quad race with Slim Kirby, Mentos Man 8, Kyong 92, and Meekin's Box. All of those are also 3-1 races.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a lot of action tomorrow.
That 9 o'clock slot is hype.
Yeah, and it's going to be a lot of determining, who automatically gets into the bracket stage and who has to go into that monstrous runoff race to get the last spot.
Yeah. And just a ton of good high-level play there. You'll want to get out your multi-twitch for that 9 o'clock slot.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you might argue that whoever loses that TGH Pika Pals race is probably going to win the play-in.
It's certainly possible.
Although the guys who are fighting for the play-in spot from the other end certainly are not slouches.
No, they are not. We're going to have a lot of good racing tomorrow. Sunday is also going to be jam-packed with a lot of 3-1 and 4-0 races. We have a couple on Saturday, but Sunday at noon, 1 and 2 p.m. there is going to be a lot of races that will determine where people stand in the bracket standings.
We're into Helmassar. And a single silver, well aimed, gets the job done.
And that is 7 crystals for pokedude. Ugh.
Yeah, we were just talking about Pika Pals. Pika's a Pokemon. Both of them are dudes.
It's almost midnight in the East Coast.
Yep. So just one last mountain ascent, one last tower ascent, one last Aghanim 2 and Ganon fight. We'll be wrapping this one up.
Absolutely.
Well, I think I'm going to head off. Thank you for commentating, and GG to all.
Thank you for joining us, Hitaka. Congrats on the win.
Yes, GG to you.
And good night. Yeah, not too much left to say here as Pokedude makes his ascent. Hoping to see a good clean gauntlet.
That was certainly an interesting seed to watch unfold.
Yeah.
The sequence breaks really did throw us for a loop in trying to remember what was in the logic and what wasn't, but it really turned out to be a fascinating seed to watch, as a lot of like going back and forth between different places.
Yeah, and I think the sequence breaks in particular really just colored the whole thing. A willingness to get to Waterfall Wishing would get you an early flute. A willingness to get to the mountain netted just a wealth of items, but maybe misdirected you from some other spots. And then Aga Tower was unlocked with perhaps a sequence broken Master Sword for the lamp, which kind of threw it back in logic. Other than that, I'd say maybe the other big sort of curveball is the tablet having an always required item.
Certainly with those Titans mitts.
Yeah.
Not to mention, you needed Laser Bridge to get to the boots, and then that was your only way into Mire where the hook shot was.
Right. Yeah, that was perhaps the longest chain travel time included. Dodging around the Igors. And opting to flip the crystal switch again on the way back, and does actually get basically reset to the way the room was on the way in. That was pretty good timing.
Very nicely done.
Into the gauntlet. And a penchant for sword spins. I'm in a little bit of trouble with this fourth room here. The BMO's getting the better.
That's always the thing about this early part of the gauntlet is it gives you the hardest mobility whatsoever with ice and treadmills.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes that fifth room look a lot easier than the fourth. Grabbing the refill, prepping the silvers. Oh, just a little early on that shot, but does get it on the second. Seeing a little more palette swap fun as those Lambos explode in shades of green and purple on account of the player's chosen sprite. And put that cane to work like a pro, getting those wizards down. Oh, just a slight bit late on that fourth one.
I mean, still props to getting the triple hit with Kane. Alright, he'll be up to the 6th floor here.
I'm wasting no time on the mini Helmas. A little bit short on the throw there.
He takes care of Troldorm 2.
Yeah, gets it done without falling off. Does open that last chest, and hey, an opportune health fill.
Yes.
These Helmasaurs. It's one of those one thing leads to another kind of rooms. There we go, getting up the stairs.
And Pokedude is into Aga 2.
All right, there it goes.
Nice double to finish it off.
With the right play, the sub-3 dream is still alive.
Yep.
Looks like for safety, they're just gonna go ahead and pop out to the potion shop.
I wouldn't blame him at this point, you know.
Yeah, not the worst. I mean,
you know your opponents beat you. At this point, you're just trying to finish the race. You know, you want to make sure that you don't want to, you know, have a mistake here or there.
right. The little bit of time here is gonna save time later, this late at night and all that. So yeah, fluting back to 4, gonna run up to the castle, warp through the gate, run up the pyramid, and finish this thing off. Or wait, yeah, they didn't beat Aga, what am I saying? Mixing up seeds. We'll just head back up to the roof.
Yep. Alright, here we go. Gets into phase 2.
Yep. And just going into town. But yeah, it's more than enough hits in phase 2, I think. Into phase 3, gonna deal with the fire. That's not so bad. Man, not gonna want to be relying on the spin attacks too heavily if they plan to manage the knockback. Oh, just missing the opportunity there due to the fire coming out.
Gets a double shot there, though.
Nice. Ooh, gotta be careful here. I think they will opt for safety.
Yep.
I would have been down to 1 heart there from that fire bat. About as judicious of an application as you could get. Not getting the other double there on account of the collision with the end of the platform. We just need 1 more silver arrow. I think we're gonna see it. Here it is.
There it is.
And into the Triforce room goes Arboretic.
And he does get the sub 3 finish with 2 hours, 58 minutes, and 49 seconds.
Woo! Yeah, with that... Oh, someone in chat corrected me. I might have said Arboretic, and I did in fact mean Pokedude. My apologies. But with that, I think we're going to call this one a wrap. Thank you all for joining us. As we were discussing earlier, a lot of good matches coming up with the rest of this week to finish off the Swiss rounds. And I'll leave the last word to Jax Reffy. I've been Epipoliticus.
Thank you all for watching. Be sure to give a follow to our runners Numberplay, pokedude14, Hitaka, and Arboretic. Big shout out to our restreamer Synac. Give him a follow, as well as our trackers Melee Wizard and Liam Atlas. You all have a great evening, and we'll hopefully see you tomorrow for some more Keysanity action.